What you have to do is
Mr. Clay will honor us with a recitation of his classic poem, I Am the Greatest.
Right now, I'm about to hold you completely accountable. What you have to do is understand the capacity in which your life holds, the capacity that you hold as an individual. And what happened is you had a dream, you had a goal, you had a vision for more, for better, for different. And something happened that threw you off track. And now you're in a position to where you're just, I just want to feed my kids. I just want to make sure I can pay my bills. I just want to make sure that I'm comfortable. I just want to make sure that I can just get by and there are no more hiccups. There are no more hurdles. That would be okay if your capacity matched that. But your capacity is so much larger than you're playing to. You have the capacity to hold and do so much more. And something has thrown you off course. Something has shown you that you're human, but being human is more than enough for what you need in your current situation. And your entire situation is actually all of your life. I'm going to hold you accountable. You can do more in life. Let me say it this way. You are allowed, you are called to, you are supposed to do more in life than just feed your kids. You are called to do more than just pay bills. You are called to do more than just be comfortable and have just enough and just get by. Understand who you are and who it is you are called and created to be. I will continue to say the same thing because the truth doesn't change. The capacity in which you hold can cause you and call you to do more than anything else you've seen in your life. It can cause you to be the generational break in the generational curse that you've seen all your life. The things that you've seen from mom, the things that you've seen from dad, the things that you've seen from dad's business, from your uncle's church, from your friend's baseball team. You are the one that is called to create change in your current situation, but you are not playing and filling up in the capacity that you have. The capacity in which you hold in your life can fit so much more. There's so much more that you can do, but you want to settle. There's so much more that you can do, but you see that you're human. There's so much more that you can do, but you are playing too small. You are playing not big enough. You are not swinging with the force that you have. Your fist and your bat and your tool is heavier. The pistol that you hold has more in the chamber. The strength that you have has not run out. I'm going to hold you accountable because you are called to do more. You can do more than feed your kids. You can feed generations. You can do more than pay your bills. You can make them disappear. What are you doing for the people and world around you? Are you just set up for yourself to win and that's why it's not working? Or are you called to do more because you have more capacity? Think about that. I challenge you, I implore you to fill up every single sector of capacity in which you hold in your life because you are called to do more than just feed your kids, than just pay bills. Play to that level, play to that status and watch what happens. Not just your life, but your kids' life, your grandkids' life, your great-grandkids' life. You will be the one with the last name that changed the generations that are to come. And it will be because of you that you will be on a different path, a different trajectory, a different angle, a different perspective will all happen because of you. Because you are called to do more than just feed your kids.
All right, here we go. What's going on, everybody? This is Dre Lovell, the Bread Talker. Welcome to Midnight Oil. It is a pleasure and honor to be with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, I got my beautiful wife, Shareem Lovell, Lady Bread Talker in the building. I got my brother, Dammion Thompson, fourth the great, a.k.a. the chef, ladies and gentlemen, on the line with us today. We're about to cover some incredible information. We're going to be talking about the wilderness is only temporary. But before I go any deeper, I just want to continue to welcome in our team members. Listen, what you got to do right now, what I need you to do right now, is to share this link, share this live, because I guarantee you we're going to be covering some incredible information for Midnight Oil. Welcome back. Welcome back. The Bread Talkers in the building. The Bread Talk investors are in the building. What's going on, Queen? How you doing? My beautiful wife, Shareem. Talk to me.
Let's go. I'm super excited about this topic because it's something that we're not often talked. That's something that's often not talked about the wilderness. So I'm excited about what the reaction we're going to get from the people that are watching, and so I'm excited. I'm excited. It's always a pleasure to have these conversations, but is this much more when we get a chance to do it with others. So talk to me. As Kawana just
Hey,
said it. Let's go.
let's go. Let's go, man. Hey, what's going on, fourth grade? Talk to the people, man. Tell them something.
What's going on, King? What's going on, Queen? I appreciate this topic is definitely something to mention because, like you said, being in the kitchen, a lot of times you in a place of isolation and you're dealing with a lot of orders at one time. But if you don't have a solid team, you're gonna feel like you by yourself. So it's definitely, yeah, we can definitely key it on certain parts of life and not just in the kitchen, but in life and like in this business. So yeah, I'm ready.
Let's go.
Definitely ready. Listen, everybody, as you come in, and I know you're watching right now, the viewers on Facebook or Instagram, or YouTube, wherever you're watching this at, go ahead and like and share the information. Like and share the information. Definitely, teamwork does make the dream work. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Talk to me. All right. So, listen, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, quite honestly, the wilderness is only temporary. Think of when you think of the wilderness. Often when I think of it, I think of this space of destitution. I think of loneliness. I think of fear. I think of a space of impossibilities. I also think of it as a space for just coming in tune or coming into an alignment. So I know that in this world today, Shareem and Dammion, or Fourth, you know, we have a lot of wilderness things that are happening right now, a lot of uncertainties with this economic climate that we're dealing with, recession time frame we're living in, whether it's United States, we got wartime, things happen abroad over in Europe. A lot of calamities, things are happening in our children's schools. Unfortunately, a lot of misguided things are happening. You see the story with the young boy that did that terrible massacre in Texas with the children, and then the situation that happened up in Buffalo. So there's a lot of stages of wilderness that are happening right now. What do you think, Shareem, Dammion? What are some of the things that you see today that would constitute wilderness to you?
For me, it's been staying home, right? Feeling like, most people, right, since this pandemic happened, we had to be in the home. Oh, you could barely go outside and you felt isolated away from your family and friends. And I know for me, that's one thing I miss. I'm originally from New York, and missing my family that does live in New York. We haven't seen them almost a year now, 2 years. So I look forward, to when I can get out of this wilderness, I'll say, and we can just go back. Right now, um, a lot of people are feeling, even with friendships, right? You had great friendships, and now the friendships are going sour, so you feel lonely and alone. And I know there's so many people that can understand what I'm talking about. People are just not the same anymore, right? Everybody's so lonely. Everybody's doing things secretly. Nobody feels like other people bring value to them. Only they have value. And so this time of wilderness that God is allowing us to be in is going to serve its purpose. And it's going to help us to come back and find out the value of what we've been missing since we've had so much people involved in our circle. And now that he had to separate us and put us in our wilderness because we didn't take advantage of it when we did have those persons or places or situations around us. I'm gonna turn it over to you for.
Well, for me, being in the wilderness is you think of isolation when you're in the wilderness because you get back to nature. And I'm a thinker, so for me, at some point, it's a form of self-care. But too much isolation because I'm in my thoughts a lot is not good. But like you say, with the pandemic going on, we were taught to be, isolated. And
Yes.
I mean, I'm a single guy, so I come home, and home is I'm locked in the house if I'm not working and dealing with a busy schedule that I'm dealing with. So I say it's good to get away and reset, but at the same time, I think too much isolation is not good, because when you think of going to out camping, you go into the wilderness, you don't see the stars in the city. You don't hear the animals in the city. And that can be scary. And it can also be a great feeling to hear those animals and see those stars that you don't naturally get to see when you're in a city, in a busy city. So it's like a form of reset for me.
I agree. I
I
agree.
agree as well.
I agree. There's so many different stages that we find ourselves as a community, as a society, um, in that state of wilderness, that state of loneliness. But I tell you what, man, the beautiful thing about the wilderness too, I do have to state this strongly. The wilderness is also a state of, for me, I believe, right, from what I've seen in my experience, is a state of an opportunity for you to come into an alignment, to come into an agreement, to actually truly find one's self. You remove a person from a situation or situations, and sometimes in that space, but when they're by themselves, Shareem, what I've noticed, they either one or two things are going to happen. They either want to lose their minds, right, or they go into loneliness or disparity, or what is it called, depression, or they come into tune and find their true purpose, their true meaning. I've fourth, man, I've been most recently been in a space where I had to be. I found myself alone and by myself and away from my family and away from friends and away from my business partners and away from things that are happening. And I had to, it actually was an opportunity for me to come into grips and an alignment of where I am and what my purpose is. And often from time to time in there, I found a peace in that wilderness,
And
right?
that's
So where most people would think it would be disparity or was a tragic or it can be tragic, it actually is a space of joy and happiness and fulfillment. What do you think?
that's a great point. And I was gonna piggyback off that because um, back in the day, so to say, when a boy goes into the wilderness, he's supposed to come back a man. So it's like a journey where you're growing and you find yourself and you come back a new developed person.
Absolutely.
That's
It
true.
made me think of the scripture, um, when Joseph brothers threw him into the pit.
Mm,
Um, he had to think about his life. We often sometimes forget about all the benefits that we have when we have everything, right? Our mind is so focused on everything that we have, and we forget the small things. But when we're in that wilderness, right, we begin to look at some of those things that we never valued before, right? When he was in that pit, I'm quite sure he wished he was in his bed. I'm quite sure he missed those waters. He missed his friends. He missed his brothers, his family. He missed being able to eat when he wanted to, right? His freedom was taken from him. But all that time at that point, none of that stuff mattered. What mattered to him, right, was that he lived. And I know for me, being sick over the like these past couple of days, what mattered to me is that I wanted to live. Seeing, working in the medical field, I see so many people passing away. I had to look at my life, and I felt like I was in the wilderness because I had to look at my life and say, dang, I'm really grateful to be alive. Like, I don't take that for granted. because we do take a lot of things for granted because it's a privilege just to see it. It's always around us, so we take it for granted. So the wilderness to me is necessary because it brings us back to a place of necessity, and
I agree.
to realize the things that we do have, and see how blessed we really are. To see how
Right.
blessed we really are.
I think some people, when they see missed opportunities, sometimes that can be considered a wilderness. But what happened? Okay, that's missed opportunities is also may be considered a space of wilderness, of loneliness and despair. But I'll tell you what, man, sometimes an opportunity needs to be missed so that you can find the gift and the joy in that fulfillment. I think of sometimes what we think may be good for us, right? A man or a woman or a significant other in our life, more money, more finances, children at an early age. At that point, we may think it's good for us. Particular jobs or professions, or even certain businesses, we may think those things are good for us, and actually, we may miss an opportunity. We miss an opportunity to be with this particular significant other. We missed an opportunity to have children, or we missed an opportunity to get in a particular work profession, or missed the opportunity to go to a specific college, or listen, the list goes on. But what I do know is I believe that God has a way of putting you in a place and space where you need to be at that time, or where He needs you. And that's been extremely helpful for me in knowing that, right? Because sometimes I feel like, man, my life feels bleak right now. You can have all the money, you got beautiful children, you got a warm home and things like that, but that you still have that void, that feeling like, man, I'm incomplete. Um, Sometimes you need to be removed from certain things in order to appreciate the beauty, the rose in the concrete, right? You know what I'm saying? For that
Yeah.
rose in the concrete, I often feel like I'm that guy. I am the rose in the concrete. I feel like I've been underneath the concrete too long. And man, listen.
It's good that you say that, because if you actually think about the wilderness and people that haven't been camping yet, you got to be thankful for the things that you have naturally in your life. Like when you go camping, you're sleeping outside no matter what the weather is. So you have to prepare your body. You have to prepare for that situation. You got to make a campfire. You just can't cook and cut the heat on. You may
That's
have to
facts.
go fishing, go hunting or whatever. You just can't go in the refrigerator and heat the oven up. It's all a process, and it's all just looking at the natural things and being grateful for what you have that most people don't have, and you think it's normal, because it's not normal if you go to some places to have a house with working
Right.
power, with working heat, and you got blankets and whatnot. A lot of people don't have that, but people take it for granted because it's just natural for them. It's normal for them. So it's definitely a great point to be in the wilderness and appreciate the natural things that's the necessities of life. Because everything is not a necessity and we take it for granted.
I
So I mean,
agree.
it's just showing being grateful for what you have.
You know what I see in the spaces like the wilderness, man? I think of an opportunity for me, myself, to better spend my time. To how do I better occupy my space, mindset that I'm in? And when I think of that, I think of the habits. What kind of habits am I creating for myself for? And in doing that, I tend to find myself, my reason, my why, my me. Got my there you go. She's back, she's back, she's back. Right? I love the fact that I get that me time, that away time, right? I have a real close friend, a brother to me, right? And he was going through this relationship situation where they needed to be separated. They'd been together too long. The person left him, or the person left One person left another person, but this particular person was, man, it felt like it had a lock on him. He needed that other person around him, and what he needed was time. He needed that wilderness, but that for some reason at that moment you couldn't see the beauty in that wilderness, in that solitude. There's beauty in solitude.
Absolutely.
Right? And sometimes, a lot of times, that's an opportunity to start listening to, start paying attention to what you're listening to. What do you feed yourself on a daily basis as far as your foods that you intake in your body? What do you put into your spirit? What do you put into your mind? And always comes back to your alignment, that triangular effect. It's a triangle. Your spirit meets your mental, meets your physical. And it keeps on coming back around and around all over again. But when you remove one aspect, say you remove the spirit part, but yet you got your mental, your mindset right, or maybe it's not right, but you got your physical right. You look good, you think good, but your spirit isn't right. But things aren't happening the way they need to happen. All right, let's say you got your spirit, but your body is right. You got your spirit, which is higher than any other thing on that pyramid. Your spiritual being is always going to be higher, but you have your physical strength, but your mind isn't right. You might be a little off, right?
Everything plays a role.
I gotta watch how I say those things because I don't want to, you people get offended and things. Your mind may not be necessarily right, but you can have the spirit and the mental, but your body isn't right, right? You could be paraplegic, right? You may have bad limbs on your arm, your physical being. You may not be the beauty in your face, right? Your body and your physique. You may not have the beauty that captivates that significant other. You may find yourself lonely. You might be overweight and just your body is just going through certain things. You can't help that. But listen, that's a beautiful time to find that alignment, find that peace. When my wife, when Lady Bread Talker was talking about Joseph being in that sold to slavery, it took him 13 years. If I'm not correct, I'll make sure I say that right. 13 years to reach the peak in which he was able to help and save his people. It took time, but he couldn't do that from the space that he was at. He couldn't do that while he was up under his father. He couldn't do that while he was under his brothers. But he had to go through extreme measures. He had to go through extreme trials and tribulations, that wilderness phase. And woe is me. But you don't hear parts of the Bible where he was complaining. But I'm quite sure he's a human being. There was some stages missed on those.
He actually did complain when he was in jail. After the Pharaoh threw him in the jail from a lie that his wife told him. He did complain to God. He did question God, like, I'm here doing your work. I didn't do this situation. And that can be any one of us. Like, we know we're doing right. We know we're following after what God's purpose is. We know we're doing the business correctly. We know we're, making all those calls and, checking out lists twice, but things are just not going right. And we just need to trust the process. And that's what I'm learning in this space, that we need to trust the process. And everything will, fully come to the circle of why we're going through that process. We don't see it while we're in it, but we will definitely see it when we come to a certain peak. And then there'll be another wilderness.
I agree. That's what this business is definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, we're a part of a wealth community environment and space. And we've been showing people how to better think, how to be better investors, how to be better traders, how to be better builders. We trade, we build, we invest in the space that we're in. And it's because of the information that we've learned, we've been able to have higher communications, higher levels of communications with each and every individual or with people in the world. And we just like to share some of the information, some of the things that we've learned in the space, because we've been in those spaces of wilderness. And it's not saying that the wilderness ends, ladies and gentlemen. What that means is because with the information that we share, because of the wealth community that we're a part of, we're able to get over we're able to get over certain hurdles. Whereas before it was difficult because we're not by ourselves. So when I say that, man, I got my brother Fourth, man. I don't know if you're readily available, but some of the things that what are some of the things that you've learned while being in this wealth community, learning how to not only trade but how to invest and how to better even read yourself? Like you're a man, right? You've known yourself, but since you've been here, can you say that you have come to learn and more about yourself? Do you feel like you've been stretched, and do you feel like is there a ceiling where you're at, or do you feel like you can go above that ceiling?
Most definitely. What I learned, I'm gonna just say, I heard earlier, you cannot appreciate an overnight success because you didn't go through the process. Like for me, the process is necessary because it's been points where I've been comparing to someone else, and that kind of steals your joy because the development that I have accumulated through this process, I mean, it's not a price that I can put on it. So, I'm not rushing anymore. I'm doing a lot more learning now than I am rushing and comparing. And, you have to, in order to get what you want, you have to give that out. I heard Lady Bread talking say that earlier. If you want more, compliments, give more compliments out. If you want somebody to cheer for you, cheer for somebody. And I've learned that in this space. And it's just been a phenomenal journey. And like I say, it's back to the education because
Yes.
everybody wants things that they want. Like I said earlier, we don't even take gratitude in the things that we think are normal. And then we always want something bigger and we always want something better. But if you don't appreciate what you have already, you'll never get what you want. And that's a big key thing that I've learned because I saw money come and I saw money go. But if you don't appreciate what that does or what you can do with it, who you can help with it, then it really means nothing at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I think
Absolutely.
our chairman leader, when you was talking, all I heard was our chairman leader, Dr. China Bethany, say, money is everywhere.
It's
Money
everywhere.
is all around us, right?
Yes.
Because money is made out of paper and paper grows on trees, right? And trees is all around us. So we breathe money. Money's all around us. So the problem is never the money. The problem is how we see the money, what we think about the money, how we process our money. And, it helps us to make decisions. And if we're not making the right decisions, I don't care how many millions you get, you're going to lose it. Right. And so if you're not around wealth people that's helping you make better choices and better decisions and renew your mindset, you're going to always be in that wilderness. And so being around our leaders, Latasha, the boss chick, we get all these values from this leadership, which is amazing. Even some people that just come on board of our platform, right? They bring a value that we don't have. And so each person that comes on as a team member brings something. And one of the things that I love about our culture is that not only do we build and we trade and invest, we build relationships. And to me, that's a key factor. The culture of your organization is a key factor to where you're going to go, right? And if you're not building a culture, then it's not going to last. It's going to be short-lived because you have to care about people. People are your main ingredient to any wealth factor. You need
Will
people.
implode.
You need people. That's in life. You need people, and that's a prime example of the pandemic. Like when you stuck in the house and can't reach anybody, you need that interaction. We were put here for a reason to interact. And all of the evil that's going on in the world, we need more interaction with each other, and more building, more love, because it's too much. Life is too short to be angry all the time.
That's
who can I help right now? I want to harm nobody. I'm not in competition with nobody. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to win.
I know that's right. I think there should just be more discussions, more open panels, more areas and spaces where we can have certain lines of communications where we are action takers in the same process. Because you can't just sit there and talk and have discussions and not take actions and do something. That's like we can all be in the Senate and we can hear all these laws being passed, but the only way for these lawmakers is to actually hear their constituents. We must go to them in order to make the changes happen. Just like the space we're in right now, we must go towards the information. So if you know, Shareem, listen, if you know I have information, and you know that, and you see that this information is current within the space and the world that we're living in today, but yet you don't ask and come and ask for that help, who's hurting who? I quite honestly think we're hurting each other, because you're going to have the capability to help somebody else that I don't know, right? And that person is going to be able to help another person that they don't, that you may not know. And that's how the cycle continues, where we begin to increase our knowledge, continue our financial wealth, continue our financial literacy, and comprehend, and so that we can have these conversations that are on a higher level and become the intellectuals that God chose us and showed us that we are. Right? It's not a matter of whether you're black, you're white, you're Hispanic. It doesn't matter. What matters is who has the information, who has the opportunity, who's taking advantage of those opportunities. And that's what this wealth community truly offers. It opens up doors, learning how to trade and invest in these markets, learning how to pass this information along to our children, That's one of the main things that I love, because guess what? What I don't get, what I can't comprehend, this technology with NFTs. I don't know everything. I can't say I honestly know everything about NFTs. I can't also honestly say I know everything about that goes on with the metaverse. All these things are new. Even in the trading environment, it's all, a lot of this stuff is new. We weren't, some of us, many of us weren't taught these things. But this educational platform here in I Am Mastery Academy allows us that fortitude. And I Am Mastery Academy allows us, it has the step-by-step blueprint, the point A's, the point B's, the point C's. A lot of people that you hear today, that you may see them on these YouTubes or platforms, a lot of them, they came from I Am Mastery Academy. They got the keys first. But in order to get the keys so that you can drive, you have to go to the dealership and speak to somebody so that you can get the keys and gain that access. And what we want to do here, everybody, is help you get those keys. We want to give you the access. We want to show you, see, you can do more. You may be able to do more than me. You may be able to do more than Ford. You may be able to do a bit more than Shareem. It's up to you. You get to decide what you do with this education. But we want to show you the space of wilderness you no longer need to be in. You don't have to stay in that space. We want to help you become successful.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things people think that we're looking for everybody. No, we're looking for those who want to learn. We're looking for those who are action takers, who's going to take this and run with it. We're looking for those who want to come in and really learn how to trade. We're looking for those who don't mind, like you said, Dre, sharing the information, because what's good for you can be good for somebody else, and even better, can even bless a whole family to not get kicked out of their home. You just don't know what people's situations are. And so judgment is not here. This is a no judgment zone. We all just have something in common, which is we want to win and we want to take our families to the next level. And even if you have a job, you can do this while you work, you can do this while you're in school. And we just want to help change your mindset so that you can know and learn how to make your money work for you.
Absolutely. You fourth, my brother, man. You know, some of the things that you've been doing. Can you tell us a little bit of some of the things that you've encountered, or that like you've been in the NFTs, right?
Absolutely.
How easy was it for you 4 months ago, 2 months ago to now?
Well,
what do you feel like your learning curve was over the last 4 to, actually, no, really, quite honestly, 6 months, over the last 6 months? What was your learning curve like?
first I had to be open to it, open to the information, and then actually take action from the information. And now it's like, it's so much. We get information early. I'm gonna put it that way. We get information early.
Talk to me.
Now everybody's talking about NFTs. You hear it on the radio, and I mean, not the name drop, but I listen to the Breakfast Club. Of course, they have a platform where they sell their NFTs. I have a few from there. You don't have to have a wallet to get them from there. Then we have these NBA moments. I got a few of those, and it's not really expensive. It is a few of them that are costly, and I plan on getting in a couple of those too. But it's basically listening and taking in the information, and then acting on that information. Because you can do a lot of research, but this research is brought to us on a plate.
Ooh, I like that. Talk to me.
Information that we really need to look at with these projects that's built under these cryptos and why they built under there, it's just not about an NFT. An NFT, that's just a way to build wealth. Another way to build wealth besides trading and collecting cryptocurrency, what I do. So, I just listen and I applied it. We have the number one educational platform in the world. If you don't tap into that billion-dollar information, because I'm gonna say billion-dollar information, because what I learned by watching a few videos and following a Kurt Cobain or Mike Sotero, y'all saw my portfolio. Like it's already making money over time, and it's not for money, but I mean, to be honest, I joined this platform to make money. I wanted to learn how to trade, and I'm doing that. But at the same time, it's more than one way to build wealth. So take advantage of every way to build wealth. The way to $1 million, to be a millionaire is what? 7 streams of income, right? We learned. So why would you just use one particular way to make money? And I still work a full-time job. I'm a corporate manager, but I still find time to trade and build an NFT portfolio, build crypto, because I understand what it means to my family over time. I don't plan on getting another job, and I'm not knocking anybody with 2 jobs, but I was that person years ago to work 2 and 3 jobs. 2 and 3 jobs is for 2 and 3 people. We were put here to live in abundance. So why would you waste your life working and beating your body down when this past year I did as much traveling this past year as I did my whole life. I'm actually living now, and it feels good to wake up and live. And I appreciate that opportunity.
I believe that's well stated, and I like to reiterate this too. I love the fact that you talk about the value of the value of ownership, to be able to do things on your own and create multiple streams of income for yourself. Because quite honestly, you can't just do one thing to get to where you need to, not unless you're, you have some upper class type of position, upper class type of a job or whatever you may have. But there are all kinds of ways to become successful in this space. And listen, we're not telling anybody to stop working, stop doing what you're doing. But what we're saying, what we're really impressing upon you is options. Utilize the options that are provided. There's a door right there. I told you about the keys already. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you taking the time out to view this channel. Make sure you like, share this information, tag a friend in the tagline. You can find I'm gonna make sure that Shareem and Dammion, make sure they drop their line and drop their information. You can find me again, Dre Lovell, the Bread Talker, or just go to Facebook and just look for the Bread Talk Investors on Facebook, or you can go on to Instagram and find myself. My name is Dre Lovell. Again, just look for I am, the letter M, that is I am _ Bread Talker. I am _ Bread Talker on Facebook, as well as TikTok and multiple streaming other social media venues. Dammion, talk to me. Let people know a little bit about where they can find you and look you up.
I was gonna let Lady Bread Talk go first. The Queen's always first.
Queen's Bread. Thank you. Holla, talk to me. As you can see on the screen, I am _ Lady Bread Talker on Instagram. or Shareem Lovell. You can find me on either platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Bread Talk Investors. And we look forward to partnering up with you guys. I'm going to pass it to you, Forth.
All right. You can follow me on Facebook. It's Dammion Thompson, DA2M's Thompson, THOMPSON. Instagram, you can go to Chef Forth or Forth the Great, 4THTHEGREAT. Same thing on TikTok, Forth the Great.
Forget the number 4, baby. Fourth is the letter.
Let's go. Let's build.
Fourth number. There we go.
Absolutely, number 4. And I'm gonna leave it like this. Ice cream is good, but you put sprinkles on that. You put a cherry on that, it get better. Come and get your sprinkles and come and get your cherry.
Come on.
So listen real quick, ladies and gentlemen, before we close out, every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have these opportunity calls where you can tune in and listen to some of the information that we've been talking about. Again, that's Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you get back with the person that introduced you to this information again. Either down below in the comments, you can write, I am interested. Just write, I am interested. Or text a person, tell them I am interested, so that you can learn, or so that you can find out more information and you can attend one of our free Zoom opportunity calls. Again, I appreciate everybody taking the time out. This is Midnight Oil. We appreciate you tuning in. Have a great night, and always talk to me.
Talk to me. Let's go. This is winning season, game.
You better know it.
Winning season.